Welcome in to the March update for Dead by Daylight with the dev update that we just got. So let's just go over it and see what we are getting with. Now, mind you, this update is going to be coming live to the PTB on most likely, I believe, March 11th is when we're getting that PTB. So that's where these changes are going to be tested. And then it's not going to be until April when these come to the main game. Actually, no, I think it's either early April or mid or late March. I forget which. Anyway, let's just go over the changes. First up, we have a change to mending, decreasing the mend timer by 2 seconds. So for those of you who don't know, in Dead by Daylight, there's a deep wound status effect that basically means you have a little bit that you need to mend before you can start healing. The the time it took to do that for by yourself was 12 seconds, and to have someone else do it for you was 8 seconds. Both of those times have been decreased by 2. This means that you're going to get a get rid of that status effect slightly faster, but there is the problem that there are several killers that kind of have deep wound in their base kit, so this is a slight nerf to them. Honestly, I don't think that this is going to be that big of a thing or that noticeable for most killers. The dev notes say that they wanted to get rid of it because it's frustrating, but yeah. Honestly, overall, good change. Then the Legion. So several killers have deep wound in their base kit. Legion is the big one, where his special attack puts someone in deep wound, and if he chains 5 special attacks together, he can down someone. So, changes. The fatigue coming out of his power is decreased by half a second. That's pretty good. Move speed while in the fatigue coming out of his power is increased. Okay, that's by what is that? Point 0.23 seconds. That honestly, that's fine. Needed. Feral Frenzy, so when he goes into his power, that will last for 1 second longer, which that's fine. That's fine. Its cooldown is being reduced to 15 seconds, so cooldown reduction by 5 seconds, which is really big. That's going to be he's going to have more uptime on his power just overall. Movement speed earned by hitting Feral Frenzy is now 0.24 instead of 0.2. Honestly fine, and then probably add-on adjustments to compensate. That's honestly overall pretty okay. Legion is not the best killer in the game, so it is really good that we're getting he's getting a couple buffs, and I think after this he's just gonna it's honestly just good quality of life. I personally don't really play Legion all that much. I don't really come up against him. I think that for the average player, this isn't really going to do much. Legion might feel a little bit stronger, but with the nerfs to deep wound, I don't think it's going to be that noticeable. Xenomorph. Xenomorph got a whole bunch of changes. Increased tail attack time, increased tail attack volume. So basically make slight nerfs to his tail attack, which basically impossible to dodge, now making it slightly less impossible to dodge for the average player. I don't think that's really going to matter. Reduce missed attack cooldown by half a second. I'm assuming that's on his tail attack, which okay, reasonable for the other nerfs, but I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. I don't think these are enough to compensate for the average player. increased Killer Instinct range. So when he comes out of his tunnels, he's going to have a bit more information. He's going to have 4 meters more of information, which that's fine. It's just information. That's the big problem, is a lot of people think information immediately translates towards results, and it doesn't. So overall, I think this is going to be fine. Then decrease the time it takes to get out of the tunnel. So he's going to come out of the tunnel faster with more information. That's fine. These are, so when I first read this, these are what the big change. So basically, they're almost doubling the amount of fire it takes to knock him out of his special mode. So for those of you who don't know, Xenomorph you've got flame turrets that you can set up around the map. He has a special mode he goes into, and while he's in that mode, you need to burn him with the flame turrets in order to get him out. They're doubling the amount of burn that he needs to get out, which, well, not doubling, but almost doubling. That's crazy. Increasing the delay between, so basically when you burn him, after he comes out, when you burn him, basically a second after you stop burning him, he loses the any heat that he got. They're increasing that to 15 seconds, which is going to be, you're going to hold on to that heat for a lot longer, and decrease the dissipation to 2 charges per second. It was 25 charges per second. So he's going to hold on to heat for a lot longer. And I think overall this is a good change. Xenomorph felt very oppressive. Even playing Xenomorph felt very oppressive once he was in crawler mode. But yeah. Overall, good changes, I think. And then adjusting add-ons, which anytime they make changes to killers, they adjust add-ons. So, yep, that's a thing. Next up, we have the good guy. We all know how I feel about Chucky. Fuck this little crap. I can't say that. I don't like this guy. Actually, no, I've sworn in YouTube videos before. I don't care. Anyway, this is reduce his cooldown to 12 seconds, reduce time to reach max speed after scamper. Minor buff. I don't think he needed it, but this is mainly a thing for quality of life, so I guess it's fine. Terror radius adjustments. This is a big thing. They're actually changing terror radius on multiple killers. So most killers have 32 meter terror radius. The main exceptions are a handful of stealth killers and one killer has a terror radius larger than 32, and that's Wesker. Hillbilly and Blight, due to their speed, are getting a bigger terror radius, which I'm concerned that they're going to start abusing some of the terror radius perks that you can get, because on certain maps, especially smaller maps, if you have a killer with a massive terror radius, you can make the terror radius even bigger with certain perks like Distressing or Monitor and Abuse. And the result is basically that you can never get out of their terror radius. So it becomes very disorienting and very problematic when you just hear their terror radius all the time. So that's the only problem I see with this. But overall I think it's fine. Overall I think it's fine. I think it will be fine. I'm just worried for very specific builds that are going to come out for those of us who have auditory processing issues. Oops. With that, that said, Pig, Ghostface, and Skull Merchant are all getting, I guess, buffed with their terror terror radius is being reduced to 24 meters. Now, all of these are stealth killers, so I really enjoy that. Skull Merchant needs some kind of buff. Jesus Christ. I'm glad to see that she's getting that. I know one of my friends, Vel, is probably very excited to see that. So, overall, I think this is pretty good change. I am worried, like I said, I'm worried about this with certain builds, and Skull Merchant, Ghostface, and Pig. They somehow didn't nerf Pig. I'm surprised. Anyway. Match surrender option. If all survivors are bots, killer can surrender. If no generator has been completed in 10 minutes, killer can surrender with no DC penalty. So, and then for on the survivor side, if all other other remaining survivors are bots, and if all the survivors are in the dying state. They do mention that plot twist will not affect this, so you can't get like a 4-stack of plot twist. They all go into the dying state and then immediately surrender. That's overall good things. Overall good things. I think there are a couple other like niche situations because like killers will just 3-gen. In theory, a killer can 3-gen this and then hold the 3-gen for 10 minutes and then yeah. So maybe abusable on the killer side. When all the remaining survivors are bots, that's going to be nice, especially for those of us killers that those of us killer mains that play like super unpopular killers like Soul Merchant and Knight. On the survivor side, yeah, this is straight. This is all reasonable. I think all this is really good and reasonable. Forsaken Boneyard. Okay, so this is Eyrie of Crows. This is the desert. Getting a new map and getting an update to tiles. No, please no. Please, for the love of God, no. Forsaken Boneyard is getting a new map that's going to have a shack in the center, and then I'm assuming no main building. That'll be reasonable. That's fine. I'm terrified, but that's fine. It'll be kind of whatever. And then new pallets. So like the double pallet here. I don't really know what else I'm looking at here. But yeah, overall, hopefully they make it less stupidly survivor-sided. That's crazy. Perks. Perk updates. Quick and Quiet. Cooldown reduced by 5 seconds. So now it'll take 15 seconds after you vault a window for you to vault silently again. Overall, I think this will be fine. I think, yeah. Yeah, the only Quick and Quiet was fine. Quick and Quiet is fine. It didn't super need a, buff, but it is what it is. This is not that big a deal. Deception. So this is the perk that when you hop in a locker, you basically feint a locker and then you don't have scratch marks for a little bit. It was 3 seconds. It's getting buffed to 5 seconds, and the cooldown is being reduced by 5 seconds. So overall, it's fine. Nope, nothing really big there. I think it's going to be used a lot more, but it's only really good. Like, if you have any game sense, it'll be fine. Increase, then Dance With Me. This is when you vault, you don't have scratch marks. So, was 3 seconds, going to 5, cooldown reduced by 5. This has a bit more use because it's normally paired with, like, Lithe. So you go Quick and Quiet, Dance With Me, Lithe, and then, like, Cut Loose or something. And, like, on certain maps, that can be a bit problematic. But no one fucking used Dance With Me. No one used Dance With Me. It's fine. This is a fine buff. I say that as a killer main and as a survivor main that sometimes ran that exact build. Red herring. So basically, it was repair generator for 3 seconds, and then you can go run, hop in the locker, and that generator will have a loud noise notification. I mean, there's a reason it's not used, so buffing it to 1 second with a... Oh, they slashed. They absolutely... What is that? Reduced the cooldown by what? 25 seconds? Okay, that's actually kind of crazy. That's actually kind of crazy. I think it's going to be I think this is mainly going to be like an annoyance perk. Like, survivors are going to run this specifically to annoy killers. So you'll run this with Scene Partner on Steve and a handful of other perks just to get, like... I think I foresee this being used specifically to annoy the killer. Overall, it's fine. Killer perk changes. Knockout. Knockout's finally getting a rework. Thank God. When a survivor drops a pallet, and then they move 6 meters away from it, within 6 seconds, they gain 5% hindered. Oh no. Oh no. This is gonna go so poorly, because... So basically the way this will work now is survivor drops pallet, 6-second timer starts. If they move more than 6 meters away from that pallet within 6 seconds, they're going to get slowed. So now you'll run knockout with some sort of instant pallet break on Knight, on Blight, on any killer that can instantly break a pallet. This is going to be terrifying. Because you break the pallet, you force them out of the loop, and then they automatically get the 5% hinder, which means you catch up faster. Oh! Knockout, brutal strength, game of foot? That's good. Oh no. Maybe. I don't know. Unless it, like, deactivates if the pallet gets broken? Maybe? Maybe. Alien Instinct. This is when you hook a survivor, the furthest injured survivor gets revealed for some gets revealed and becomes oblivious. Increase duration to 8 seconds. The aura read to 8 seconds was... So increase the aura read by 3 seconds, which, not that great. It's still just use barbecue and chili. And increase the oblivious duration to 60 seconds was 20 seconds. Oblivious is not is an okay status effect. I don't think that this mainly just strengthens it against solo queue. Doesn't really do anything against survive with friends. Solo queue is still... Alien Instinct is still gonna be crazy. Hysteria. When you injure a survivor, they become oblivious. When you injure a survivor, all injured survivors become oblivious. Increase the duration by 10, so you get 40 seconds of oblivious, and decrease cooldown by 10 seconds. On Legion, this will be okay. On Plague, this will be okay. On killers that can maintain Broken, this will be okay. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. This is okay. It's not going to significantly change anything. Because, again, the main problem is that you're affecting survivors, and in Survive with Friends, so long as at least one person doesn't have the Oblivious status effect, they can relay information, and if you don't have... If you're in solo queue... If you're in solo queue, you're still just not doing great. Deathbound. Now, Deathbound is an interesting one. So basically the way Deathbound works is when a survivor heals someone more than a set distance away from you, the perk... Hold on. I do actually want to check something. Sorry. Deathbound. DBD. Okay. They scream and Deathbound activates. When the healer is further than... Yeah, when the healer is further than 8 meters away, get rid of that. When the healer is further than 8 meters away, the survivor they healed, the healer becomes oblivious, and then they become oblivious until they lose a health state. So basically, if you move more than 4 meters away from the guy you healed, you become oblivious. I don't think that's gonna change. That's not gonna change anything significant, because if you're already moving 4 meters away from someone, you're probably gonna move 16. You're probably gonna move 8 meters away from them. So could be fine. I mean, I would want to experiment with this, and I think overall it's fine. And then Nemesis is getting a... So the way Nemesis works is when a survivor becomes the obsession, they have their aura revealed for 4 seconds, and if a survivor stuns you, they become the obsession. The aura reveal is increased to 8 seconds. This is good. Nemesis was a bit weak. I don't think this is going to... I, again, don't think this is going to be a super powerful change. Because if a survivor stuns you, odds are you're basically just going to go after that survivor anyway, and with something like... It was 4 seconds. Odds are you're also running Lethal Pursuer, and yeah. Overall, I think this is kind of fine. Overall, good changes. I'm glad that they are identifying low use perks. But yeah, overall, good changes, except for we didn't need... remove Eerie of Crows, remove Forsaken Boneyard. No one likes it, except for survivors. Xenomorph has some weird changes, but overall, good changes. I'm really excited to see it. And yeah, I can't wait for the PTB, and I hope to see... I probably won't play this PTB, but overall, I think this is good changes. So, thank you to everyone who watched, and I'll talk to y'all later.